What's up, Wise Flyers? Welcome to Wise Flyers Advice, where you call my phone number, leave a voicemail about any questions regarding credit cards and travel points, and I'll feature your voicemail on the show and answer your question. If you want to give me a call, you could call this number right here, 516-777-0138, and I may potentially feature your voicemail on the show and answer your question. So guys, feel free to call me anytime, and I may even pick up and answer your question on the spot. Let's go to our next voicemail caller. And so just to let you guys know, I did shorten this voicemail a little bit. It was about 2 minutes long, just for the sake of this video and keeping it brief. I'll fill in the context once he asks his question.
Hi, David. My name's Stefan, currently active duty military stationed in Mississippi. So really enjoying not having to pay the annual fees on Amex or Chase credit cards, which is great for credit card enthusiasts such as myself. Calculated it out, and I'll be just short of about 6,000 Medallion qualifying miles to hit Silver Medallion status with Delta. And really, based on my work schedule, I'm not going to be able to take any more trips to make up those 6,000 MQMs. So the way around that would be to get the Delta Reserve credit card, includes 10,000 MQMs, which would give me silver status for the next year with Delta. So my question for you is, if you were in my situation, is this something that you would do? I have a couple things kind of holding me back with getting this. One of them is that I'm currently trying to build up my Amex membership rewards ecosystem, and I've got about 2 more credit cards I'm looking at getting. So if I was to get the Delta Reserve, then obviously it would put a hindrance on that plan, delay it a little longer. And secondly, this isn't really a card I foresee myself using long term, because a lot of the benefits that we get with the card, such as the free check bag, priority boarding, is something that active duty military members get on most airlines anyways. And so I would love to know your thoughts. Is this something you would do in my situation? Is Silver Medallion status with Delta even worth it? Thanks so much for taking my question, and I hope
Thank you so much for calling in, Stefan, and also thank you for your service. And you brought up a great point. So you are active military, which means you don't have to pay the annual fees for premium cards. Just for the viewers, for you guys to know, if you know anybody active military, or if you are active military, you don't have to pay the annual fees for the American Express Platinum, which is a $550 annual fee, Chase Sapphire Reserve, $450 annual fee. Also, another great tip is your spouse, or the active military member's spouse, doesn't have to pay the annual fee as well. So this is a huge opportunity for anyone serving our country to get all of these huge annual fees waived and still enjoy all the benefits of these cards. To answer your question, Stefan, I feel like you pretty much answered it yourself in the voicemail. I'm sure other viewers would agree. You don't really seem like you want to go for the Delta Reserve card in order to get Silver Medallion status with Delta. So Silver status is the lowest, and the benefits are decent depending on how you're going to use them. And especially if you want to get more American Express cards and you're not really like the benefits of the Delta Reserve card because it has a lot of overlap with your American Express Platinum card, I would say don't go for it. It doesn't seem to me like getting the 6,000 MQMs is worth it. So that would be my answer. Let's go to our next voicemail from Nebraska. And also I did shorten this one a little bit too, just because it was around 2 minutes. And guys, feel free to leave long voicemails. It's okay. I just may not play them entirely for this video. So let's take a listen here.
Hey David, it's Carl from Nebraska. Happy Memorial Day. I think this is a 3-part question. So my question is this: on the 524 rule, so I'll have 5 cards within 24 months, so will I not be able to get the 5th Chase card? So that's the first part. And will you ever be able to go back to Chase if you keep opening the cards, one every few months? So that's part 1. Second part is, what about any of the transfers for, like, Amtrak? So the third part was this: I'd like to do do not want to do a 3-day cruise. I'd like to do a 7-day at least, and that. So look forward to seeing the answers in the videos, or if you can write back, that'd be great too. Thanks so much. Bye.
All right, thank you so much for calling, Carl from Nebraska. So this is a 3-part question. So to answer your first question about you'll be opening 5 cards in the past 24 months because of your Costco, City Costco card you got before, and then with the Chase Sapphire Preferred, moving on to the United card. So to answer your question, yes, so if you open 5 cards in the past 24 months, you won't be eligible for any more Chase cards. The way to get the right strategy with this is to make sure the Chase cards that you get are the ones that you want to keep long term, because most likely with so many other great cards out there, you're not going to want to hold off and wait until you're back under 524. So a great way to check your 524 status, you could click the link above. I have a video, or actually down in the description below, of exactly how to check your 524 status and when you won't be over 524 anymore. So you could do that with Credit Karma. That's an easy resource, as well as the Travel Freely tool, which I just featured on my channel a couple of videos ago with Zach from Travel Freely. He's the founder. You could click the video down in the description below to learn more about that tool, and that actually has a 524 counter, the tool itself in the software. So when you put your cards in, when you got them, it'll let you know when you're going to be under 524, when you're over, and it'll give you other notifications like when to complete your minimum spending, when your annual fees are due. Definitely a great resource to stay on top of things. So another way to get around the 524, or at least in your position, would be to get business credit cards. So if you're able to get business credit cards, I recommend doing that before you're over 524. And even when you're over 524, if you get a business credit card, it won't count towards your 524 count, with a few exceptions such as Discover Business Cards, Capital One, and TD. Those business cards do count towards your 524. So if you can get some business cards while your 524 kind of settles, if it's going to be like a few months, then I think that's a good strategy. Otherwise, if it's going to be a year or so before becoming under 524, I would recommend don't look back, just keep going forward to get more better cards, because these rules are constantly changing, and if you wait a year, you may not be eligible for other cards because other rules are going to be enacted by other banks. Having been in the credit cards and travel points game since 2011, I've seen a lot of rules constantly happen. One of the lessons I've learned over the years is basically act when you have the opportunity. So what that means is if there's an opportunity that you want to seize, go for it right now, because the banks are going to constantly change the rules as they go, because they don't want people to get more cards for more points, for more free travel, because they're losing, we're winning. Second question regarding Amtrak. I don't think transferring points to Amtrak is worthwhile. So there's a few different ways you could do this. If you go to the Amtrak website and type in transfer partners, it'll show loyalty programs transfer over, such as Hilton. But also there are some flexible currencies, kind of a 2-step process to transfer over to Amtrak, such as American Express membership reward points. You could transfer over to Aeroplan, and then from Aeroplan to Amtrak. With Citi and Chase Ultimate Reward points, you could transfer to JetBlue, and then from JetBlue over to Amtrak. Either way, you're losing a lot of value by making those transfers, and then once you have your Amtrak guest reward points, you're actually not allowed to use those guest rewards for the lowest saver level seat. Compared to airlines where you could, like United Airlines, for example, you could go for the lowest level saver seat with your United Airline miles. With Amtrak, that's not the case. They don't let you get the most value out of those points. So in regards to that, I just don't think it's worth it going for Amtrak points by transferring. Transfer ratios are just not good, and you're not going to get enough value out of it. Third question regarding cruises. Yes, you can use points for cruises. So you're referring to when I went to a cruise back in January 2019. I went with my wife and 2 daughters, so it was the 4 of us, and the cruise would have cost originally $2,600, but I was able to bring it down to $101 by using travel credits. So the way I was able to do that was with a few different Bank of America travel rewards cards between my wife and I, business Bank of America travel rewards card. You could click the video either above or down below. I'll have a link to exactly the process of how I was able to book this cruise that was originally $2,600 and got it down to $101 for a 6-night Royal Caribbean cruise for 4 people. I don't recommend using flexible points such as Chase, Citi, Amex points because you're losing value if you were to just get a credit. I don't recommend going for the Bank of America Royal Caribbean card or the Carnival branded card. Those are gimmicks, don't go for that. And one of the good things I was able to do when booking the cruises, I was able to use as many cards as I wanted. So when I booked that cruise, I used 5 different credit cards because on each card I had a certain amount of travel points that I could credit, that I could get credit back for. So between 5 cards, I was able to save I forgot how much, over $1,000 or something like that. But yeah, you can watch the video to learn more of exactly how I was able to do that. All right, guys, that concludes our show of WiseFly's advice. Remember, call the number 516-777-0138 to leave a voicemail, and I may feature your question on the next video. So until then, I'd recommend watching this video right over here. Click that video now, and I'll see you in the next video.